Okay, we're back. So what we did was we just created the direct material purchase budget. So now I need to create the direct labor cost budget, and we're going to do the factory overhead cost budget. And again, I've used the information that, the format that we've used in the book. I also need, again, that production budget, because I need that 3,170, that 2,980. I have direct labor requirements. So for the birdhouse, for fabrication, it takes 0.20 hours per birdhouse. And assembly, it takes 0.30 hours. And here is the cost per hour that we charge. The bird feeder, we have 0.40 hours for fabrication and 0.35 hours for the assembly. And they're also at $16 per hour and $12 per hour. So let's go ahead and do the direct labor cost budget. So first I need to know the hours required for production. So we're going to look at first the birdhouse for fabrication. So we still have those units that we need to produce, that 3,170, times the 0.20 hours needed to complete it. If I go to the assembly department, I have that 3,170 that I'm going to produce, and it takes 0.30 hours. We're going to do this again for the bird feeder, except for now we're going to use the 2,980 that we want to produce, and it takes 0.40 hours. We're going to take that 2,980 again, we're going to times it by the 0.35 hours. So what we can do is we can add. So the total hours for fabrication for both the birdhouse and the bird feeder is 1,826. And for the assembly, 1,994 hours. The hourly rate, since both of these are the same, if they had different hours over here for fabrication on the birdhouse and the bird feeder, we would have broke that down. But we don't need to because it's the same rate. So fabrication is $16 per hour and assembly is $12. Doesn't matter which one I pick because, again, the cost is the same regardless if we're doing a birdhouse or a bird feeder. I can take my 1,826 hours, I can multiply it by the $16 per hour. We're doing 1,994 hours times the $12 per hour. So then our total direct labor cost budget is $53,144. Okay, factory overhead cost budget. They've given us an estimated factory overhead cost for December. Indirect factory wages are $75,000. Depreciation of plant and equipment is $23,000. Power and light is $6,000. And they've estimated insurance and property tax to be $5,000. Add those together, and then we have our factory overhead cost budget. So not a lot involved in the factory cost if they've given this to us. Okay, so next what we want to do in the next one is doing the cost of goods sold budget. This should be very familiar. We've dealt with this in the first couple of chapters. So now we need to bring it together. So our finished goods inventory as of December 1st, 2016. Now we're looking at the finished products here as of December 1st, and we're also going to look at the finished products here for December 31st. But let's tackle the finished goods inventory December 1st. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to take that 320 times the price per unit plus the 270 times the 40. Because we're doing the cost of goods sold budget for the entire production. We're not separating it between birdhouse and bird feeder. Our work in process, they have provided that for us. Work in process beginning of December is the $29,000. So next we need to go to our direct material inventory, December 1st. So that is, we had estimated inventory. That is the 200 feet. Remember that $7 per feet plus the 240 times $1. Okay, that gives us $16.40. Direct material purchases. This comes from that total that we did in the direct material budget, that $46,704. That is where we place our direct material purchases. So this gives us, add those two together, this gives us our cost of direct materials available for use. Now we need to look at the less direct material December 31st. So like we did up here for December 1st, now we're doing it for December 31st. So we take our 220 times our $7 plus our 200 times our $1. So that's $17.40. So what this does is we can subtract, because it's less our direct materials December 31st, we have now $46,604. Now we need our direct labor. We did a direct labor budget. Remember over here on our direct labor budget, this amount, that $53,144, that goes there. We did a factory overhead budget. Remember that $109,000? That is what goes in that column. Okay, so then we can add our cost of direct material placed in production, our direct labor, and our factory overhead. That gives us $208,748. That is the total manufacturing cost. We can now add our $29,000, our work in process December 1st, plus our total manufacturing cost. That gives us our total work in process during the period. Less work in process December 31st. They provided that for us. Work in process, end of December, $35,400. So now our cost of goods manufactured is the $237,748 minus the $35,400. That gives us our cost of goods manufactured. Cost of finished goods available for sale. Okay, this amount, we want to take our 290 finished products times 27 plus our 250,000 times 41. That gives us our cost of finished goods available for sale. Okay, this was what was finished December 1st. We have now finished 290 birdhouses and 250 bird feeders. So that gives us, I apologize, I gave you the wrong number. Let me back up. Okay, the cost of finished goods available for sale. That is your finished goods inventory plus your cost of goods manufactured. I do apologize for that. So that gives you $221,788. Your less your finished good inventory. That gives you your 290 times your 27 plus your 250,000 times your $41. There is your less finished goods inventory. You take the difference between your cost of finished goods available for sale minus your less your finished goods December 31st, and now we have a cost of goods sold budget. Okay, we will continue this in part 3 with doing the sales administrative expenses.